Hello, this is Boxpop, and welcome to Talking to People for the First Time, where I talk to people for the first time.
Is it? Is
All
it
right.
on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on. It's on. Should be
Cool.
on.
Here.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for sitting down with me, guys.
You're
What
welcome.
have you been up to today?
We've just been chilling, actually, enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
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 Having a nice drink in the sun as well.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
A free drink.
Yes.
Really? How did you
Free
get
drink.
it? Free?
Like the Easter hunt where she found one of the gifts and then she wrote me and was like, "Do you want to join?" And I was like, "Yeah."
This was
free
from
stuff."
an Easter hunt?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you found this in a bush or?
No. We,
What?
we found a coupon. We found a coupon.
Okay.
So there was no worries about it. Just coupon for the drink. Not
We
the
don't
drink
know
itself.
how long it's been in the bush.
Okay, that's
Very
awesome.
suspicious drink. We'll take it.
Yes.
So it's already a great day.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It is.
That's sick. Okay,
Definitely.
so I have like a question for you guys. If you're
Yeah.
ready for it.
Cool.
The question is, if you could talk to a younger version of yourselves, would you do that? And if you would, what would you say?
Um,
Hmm.
I probably would. It's not like I regret anything because that makes like life as it is now, and I don't regret where I am right now. But I'll probably tell her that things are gonna get better, and she should probably not put people before herself all the time because that's very important, and she will learn, but maybe start sooner. Yeah. What's your?
I actually think I wouldn't, because she's doing her best and just learning, and I don't think she needs the help actually because she'll become a bigger person from learning how to do it herself.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Just let her
I
do her
will just
thing.
let her chill
Yeah, yeah.
and do her thing.
Let her do her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. You wouldn't tell her where the Easter things were.
Well, I would tell her younger self that, but I don't think she would know me.
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
You're like, who the fuck are you?
yeah.
What do you want?
But I liked your answer. Like you wouldn't really like tell something, but you would just comfort essentially.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I'll
just
be like,
maybe-
it's gonna be fine.
yeah, like give yourself a
Yeah,
hug. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Because like
Yeah.
life is hard, so don't be so hard on yourself. Like,
Give
there's
yourself a break.
yeah, there's no
Yeah.
need to be hard on yourself. Like,
Mm.
everybody has their own thing going. So
do you think it would be easier to be nice to yourself if you like had yourself outside yourself? Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think so, for sure, for
Definitely.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely.
yeah,
And then sometimes something I actually do use that I picture myself as one of my friends or my younger self,
Yeah.
and then it's much easier not to talk that shitty about yourself
Yeah,
if you
sure.
imagine like you're not that version of yourself.
Mm.
I also tell that to my mom when she's a little hard on herself, and a bit especially about a childhood
Mm.
trauma, and I was like, but you wouldn't talk to that child that way, so why are you why do you keep talking to yourself that way?
Yeah.
Because that was something that was said to you when you was a child,
Yeah.
and you can have comfort for someone who's 8 years old. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's a very good way to cope with some shitty things you think about yourself sometimes.
yeah. It's incredible the things that you're willing to say to yourself for some reason
Oh yeah.
that you would never like ever say to another person.
Mm-mm.
It's like we tend to forget that we are people too, you know, like ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. You
but
need to
it's weird.
distance yourself from yourself sometimes to
Mm.
be
Yeah.
like, okay, why am I saying this to myself? I'm only human. Like, I would never say this to a stranger. Why the hell am I saying this to myself right now? And then like, oh, give myself a break, please. Why are your like expectations so high? You can only do one thing at a time. So chill. There's no need to speak that way.
Maybe we should like talk to ourselves in the mirror some more, like
Yeah.
just to
like,
remind
take a
ourselves.
step back. Whoa.
Whoa, hey, that's a person right there.
Yeah.
Calm down. Like, oh my god, look me in the eye and say that again. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, be like, oh, damn.
My
I'll
eyes
get
are up
back.
here. My eyes are up here. Don't look at my thighs. Whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you wanna say, or before you
Mm.
go?
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
If I would?
Yeah.
I think I would, but not to give any commands, just for the experience. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, for
I want to
sure.
know like how annoying I am, like to to
Growing.
talk to. Yeah.
Would I even like
Yeah.
myself?
No.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it would be a fun experience for sure.
Yeah.
So I would probably like talk to myself a week ago or something, like,
Yeah,
just to check up on
how
things.
different am I now?
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fun.
A lot can happen in a week.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. It could, sure thing.
You wouldn't have been sitting here for a week ago, I think.
No, I wouldn't. I for sure wouldn't. But yeah, but thanks for sitting down with me.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just a little conversation if you want.
Yeah, I can try.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, for sure.
Denmark. Should I be scared?
No, not at all. It's not that scary. Yeah, but yeah, I think it should be on. But
Okay.
thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
saw you. I was biking before and I saw you and I was kind of curious, but had to make it to the store before they
Oh,
close. So
yeah, of course. Did you get your stuff?
I did.
Awesome.
So that was awesome.
So what have you been up to today?
Not much. I finished work and just came to the city to get some errands like books from Doc One and shopping, and yeah, just casual adult life stuff, I guess.
So very much like a regular day, I guess you
Yes.
could say.
Yes, I could say that.
Did you say you got a book?
I
Or-
did.
Okay. Well, which one?
It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Cold, yes, cold. And to be honest, I don't really know exactly what it is about. But usually, when I get book recommendations from like people, I just like sign them down, and then I borrow them and have kind of surprise what is this about.
Yeah, like you don't watch the trailer before the movie. You
Exactly.
just
I never do
jump
that.
in.
No, I never
no.
do that. Like, I mean, sometimes it's. I don't know if you know the movie Anora, the one that got
No.
it got like 5 Oscars this year. I had no idea what is this about, and I thought it's like I knew it's some romance, and I went to the cinema, and the first scene is a girl in a strip club dancing with like her butt literally in front of the camera, and I was like, okay, I did not see that.
I did not sign up for this.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and then it was
Yeah.
like some very like dramatic movie, you could say. So I was like, okay, I think
Oh,
I had a
wow.
bit different I mean, it was really nice, but my expectations were completely different. And it was like about sex working community and all of that, and I thought it's like some romance drama kind of thing. So
Sometimes you can really change the experience of a movie, like depending on the mindset you go into it with. You
Yeah,
know? Like
yeah.
so. Sometimes it's nice to just go in blank. You know.
yeah, I usually do that because also
Yeah.
like I realized lately, like they show too much in the trailers. That like when
Yeah,
you
like
watch
the entire story.
yeah, exactly.
Like, I already seen the movie basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like 2 minutes, and then you're like, yeah, what's the point? Like, I know what's the plot. Like, will
Yeah.
there anything that surprised me? So I never watch it usually.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Cool. But I have like a question for you. If
Yes.
you're down to answer. Don't
Hit
know
me
yet.
up. Huh?
All right. So the question is, if you could, would you have a conversation or tell something to a younger version of yourself?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit cliche, but I would say do not worry that much about things. That like life will figure it out anyway. And I think that I know that younger me from like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago was dreaming about the life that I have right now. Like literally that was my dream. And now I'm here.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I always wanted to live abroad, and I moved abroad here to Denmark because originally I'm from Poland. I always wanted to travel and be able to like afford the traveling, and I do it like at least once a month. I have friends abroad. I have a boyfriend abroad, which for me was all of the like checklists that I always wanted to have, and now I have that. So it's kind of awesome. And I was so worried about like life not figuring it out, and it did. So
You're actually living the dream right now. Is that
I
what
do.
you're telling me?
I do.
Wow.
It sounds quite, unrealistic, but I do. Like, I think I managed to have my dream life by following, what was right for me and what felt good.
That's so awesome.
yeah,
For real. How? Okay, I have to ask.
Yeah.
At what age? Like, when did you know this is the life that I see for myself? This is what I want.
I think there were signs from a very like I always wanted to live abroad. I don't know why, but I was always obsessed with the idea of living
Like from a
abroad.
very early
Yeah,
age.
like I was like telling my parents, I'll move to Australia, I'll move to US. They were like, girl, no. Like I was, like 7, 8, and I was like,
Okay.
I'll be moving to Australia, and they're like, yeah, yeah, sure, good luck. And then like it was just always this idea in my head that I don't see myself in Poland, that I see myself abroad. And when I was 15, I started like working like part time as a waitress, and I managed to save up some money. So I started like traveling a bit to kind of like, city breaks for a weekend. And I wanted to figure out in which country I feel good, because that was important for me. Like I didn't care that much about, I don't know, the weather or if, I don't know, economy is good or politics, but I was like, I want to feel good in this country. And I came to Denmark kind of by accident, I would say. And I was like, yep, that's it. That's the country. I just fell in love. So, and now I'm
Yeah,
here.
you were never really planning for Denmark. You just came here and like,
No.
and your gut, like your
Yeah.
stomach was telling you, this is it.
Yeah, it was always Netherlands for a really long time, and I still
Yeah.
really like Netherlands. Yeah, I came to, and I also I always liked Scandinavia, but I didn't really feel like Denmark was a Scandinavia
No,
because
okay.
you don't have mountains, like.
What? It is part of Scandinavia.
I know it is now, but back in the days I was like,
Yeah.
Norway, Sweden,
It's too
Finland.
flat. It's too flat to
exactly,
be part of
exactly,
Scandinavia.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
no, I
yeah,
get
I
that.
came. It was back then. It was in Copenhagen that I visited, and I remember I just left like metro at like Ama, so it wasn't even city center, and I was like, yep, that's the place. I'm moving.
So you've essentially been working towards this goal your entire life.
Yeah, I would say so.
Wow.
And now I'm here.
That's incredible. Like you usually hear people say that, like becoming a lawyer, becoming a doctor, whatever, and even that is wild.
Yeah.
I think it's actually rare to hear someone say that, because there's so much doubt in life.
Yeah.
Life throws a lot of curveballs
Mhm.
towards you, and it's hard to maintain the same wants and needs
Yeah.
throughout. When you get older, you change a bit too. So I find that fascinating. This has just been your rock.
Yeah.
Like, living
Yeah.
abroad.
But I think it's like, it's like I mean, I got here, but like then I realized, okay, so living abroad also have its perks and, downsides, because I thought like Poland was the problem. So I was like, I'll move abroad and I'll be super happy. And I was for 2 months. And then I was like, okay, it's not as perfect as I thought. So it also took a lot of work on myself, and like, yeah, finding what is good for me, what is not good for me, what people are good for me and which are not. And it took me a while, I think, but I also have amazing people around me that I think always kind of like grounded me and motivated me, and were just like kind of awesome, I would say. So
Yeah, I mean, whether you're traveling around the entire planet or you're staying in one town your entire life, it's always a journey.
yeah, it is.
As you're saying, you got to figure out like what type of people makes me happy, what type of food, what type of
Yeah.
hobbies,
Yeah.
everything. You can do that abroad or you can do that at home, but
Yeah.
that's super interesting. It wasn't because I mean, I have to ask, it wasn't because of something at home that made you want to leave, or because often when people they want to leave, it's because there's something like they want to leave, or
I don't think it was like specifically at home. I mean, I wouldn't say like I don't have a perfect family, but I don't think anyone has. Like, I think it's kind of impossible. But I think it was just the idea that like I didn't feel like I fit in Poland. Like that was often an issue, that like the culture, like there's a lot of things that I love about Poland, but I was like, that's not me. Like, for example, in Poland, there's a big culture of complaining about everything. And people, there's a sun, they're complaining that it's too hot. It's raining, they're complaining, where's the sun, And it's like, I came to Denmark and like, at least I haven't experienced people like, I actually experienced people enjoying small things. Like, there's a sun, oh my God, let's go grab a coffee. Even though it's 2 degrees and you're sitting, in like puffer jacket, but you're still sitting outside because there's sun.
Yeah.
And like in Poland, I feel like wherever I go, people like have, like, not everyone, of course. I'm just talking about the negative experience that I didn't like. It's just like this negative culture, which I know also comes from the history that Poland has, which is quite cruel with the World War and all of that. So I understand where is it coming from, but I was just like, that's not the culture for me. And I felt like I need to find something better, something that fits me and my vibe for life, values. So
it's a lot about like core values.
I would say so.
Along with gut feeling.
Yeah,
So you
I think it was.
combine those
Yeah, I
and-
think it was a mix of both. Like, I mean, I just, like I said, even when I was like 7, 8, I don't think I had a lot of values back then. I still
Yeah.
felt like I want to be abroad.
Yeah.
So I think it was just, I don't know, maybe watching too many American rom-coms, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it was just always within me.
But that's honestly super like refreshing and really cool to hear. But that leaves us with the question,
Yes.
like you're here now
Yes,
and you've made it.
I did.
So what do you do when you've like accomplished your dream? Like, do you just sit back and enjoy the sun and like, that's it, or do you find a new dream, or like,
I think
how's
that,
that
I
work?
mean, I think you have to enjoy it. I also
Yeah.
realize, like, often when people make a goal, when they reach that goal, they don't even take the time to appreciate the whole journey. And they're just like, okay, what's next? So I think I'm kind of trying to, like, do both that, like, actually appreciate that I made it here. I did all of this. But on the other hand, I think that's also, I think, my one of my values, that I'm like very, very ambitious, and I always find something new. I always like to challenge myself. I like to try new things, even things I thought I would never like. I'm still like, but maybe I should try before I, make a judgment of something. So I think I'm just like, I have so many ideas what to do in my life, that I think I'll never run out of like what to do,
Yeah.
or I don't know, goals or whatever. But it's just, yeah, it's just a matter of prioritizing them, I think.
Awesome. So what are you challenging yourself with now? What's like your current mental energy dump? Boom.
Learning Danish.
Oh shit.
That's a tough one.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's
Yeah.
really tough. I've been in Denmark for 5.5 years, and like I passed all of the exams that you can, like, for free from the commune. And I mean, like, I felt like I know Danish, but then, like, they teach you about, I don't know, I could talk about differences, like with taxation system in Poland and in Denmark, but I couldn't order a coffee. So it's like, what's the fucking point, Like, I cannot ask someone about the weekend, but I can tell them differences in schooling systems. It's like,
It's usually the other way around,
it should be the other way around. And like, yeah, so I did this. Then I was kind of like, I had a break, and then I found like a private teacher that I'm actually like paying my own money, and it's not cheap, unfortunately, but I was like, I really want to learn the language. On top of that, I also have, like, from work, I have additional classes, so I think that takes a lot of my time. Then I'm a really active person, so I go to the gym, I train volleyball, I go to yoga from time to time. I'm wakeboarding. The season just started at Osu, so that's nice. And just in general, I love being active. So any type of sport for me, I'm always up for trying new stuff. And yeah, on top of that, trying to find time for friends, boyfriend, reading books. And I'm also, that's something that I started last year. I started doing art course, because I thought I've never been interested in art, but I never really understood it. So I found like a really good teacher, and I was like, let's give it a go. And I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's also something that I'm trying to, like, yeah, learn new stuff. So I do a lot, as you can
Yeah,
hear.
it sounds like a tight schedule. No, I'm honored that you had the time to sit down here with
No,
the.
no. I think like I love talk.
Yeah.
Like I realized that I really love talking with like people. Like just like even strangers. Like I've met so many like random people that had such an amazing stories, that I just always, like, whenever I see these kind of things, I'm like, let's give it a go. Let's see what it is.
Like, how did you meet these people with the
Uh,
stories?
To be honest, it's usually very random. Like, for example, last month I was in Rome because I have a friend that lives there, and we were standing and like looking at Forum Romanum. I don't know if you've been in Rome, but it's like, yeah, it's like an, you could say, ancient shopping center. And we were just standing there. We're alone, and there was some guy standing next to us, and he was kind of like looking at us. We could see that he was trying to make conversation. And me and my friend were Polish, so we talked in Polish. And he asked if we're from Poland, and we're like, yeah. And then we were talking in English, and he was historian from U.S., but he lives in Latvia, and he gave us like history lesson about Rome for an hour, because he was like a tour guide. And then like, because he was so humble in the way he was talking, and I was like, okay, I need to find this guy online, because I was like, how many people from America that are historians are named Brian are living in Latvia? That's not a lot of chances. And this guy was a professor from Oxford.
Really?
Yes.
He just gave you like a one-man lecture, essentially.
Yes, for like an hour, I think.
Wow.
And I think if it wasn't for like my friend's boyfriend that was waiting for us in the car, we would stay there for like maybe two
Yeah.
hours. And he just like, he actually approached us. I think he just wanted to talk with someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got a history lesson from a professor from Oxford.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the ability to talk about a subject for 3 hours, like off the top of your head, that many professors are able to do, and they not only do that once a week, often twice a week,
Yeah.
3 times a week. Like, that's a long time
Yeah.
to talk about something
And also,
repeatedly.
and also talking about like interestingly, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
he was talking about it in a way that we were so curious, but on the other hand, also like because my history knowledge is not the best, I would say, and he also didn't make me feel like, I'm kind of stupid, that like, oh, why don't you know that, there was not this feeling. Like, I felt like I could ask about anything and he just answered. So I think it's just kind of like, I believe that like, you kind of bring the energy that you put into the world. So if I put like this curiosity in the world and like, the openness to meet new people, like I'm sitting here with you now, then I think it kind of pays back, or I'd like to believe that.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, here we are, right?
Yeah,
So,
here we are. I guess we're doing.
yeah, we're doing it. So,
Yeah. But yeah, that sounds awesome. I would love to have a solo lecture from a history professor.
yeah, that was not on my bingo card this year, but I mean, it happens. So I guess everything's
It's really
possible.
nice to get surprised. You get older, and some days you realize, oh wow, I can still get surprised.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because some days, some weeks, you feel like, damn, what is missing here? Like, there must be more.
Yeah.
And there's always more.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
but it's nice to find out.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time.
Yes,
Every time
like,
you do.
I think life can surprise you every fucking day.
Yeah.
Literally every
Yeah.
day. Like, for example, this, I was just
Yeah.
planning to go to grab a book and just some stuff from the store, and now I'm sitting here and having a nice conversation. So
Yeah. It's been great.
yeah.
Do you have anything else you wanna tell people before you go for today?
I don't know. I think just chase your dreams, but make them kind of realistic, but
Yeah.
still ambitious, I would say.
Well, you've certainly set an example. So yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Appreciate you sitting down with me
Yeah.
for today.
If I can ask you a question,
Sure.
why are you doing it? What's up with that? Is it some project or just curiosity?
For the longest time, I didn't know why I was doing it. But recently, I've been thinking. I think this is a way of turning my attention towards the future.
Okay.
I guess when you meet new people, it's very hard to. It's very much being in the present type of thing.
Mhm.
And a new person is like kind of. There's no ties to your past, so you have to turn your attention towards the future.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing for me right now. So,
Okay.
and I also really like talking to people. So there's that.
Is there a lot of people sitting down?
I think yeah, there's been a couple today.
Okay, that's nice.
It's nice that
Even
people
Danish
are-
people.
Yeah, I think you're the first international today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would expect that Danes are not so willing, talking to strangers, opening up.
You just gotta sit here for a long enough time, and eventually. The other day, I just sat here for like an hour, and it was nice.
I mean, the weather is nice. So
It is
I guess
nice.
You
I
can just enjoy the sun, right?
Yeah, I can just. It is almost meditative,
Yeah.
You know?
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's nice.
But yeah, thank you so much
Yeah,
for the
thank you.
conversation.
Appreciate it.
It was really awesome.